Hey, it's Michael Murray with Benzinga. We're here at an undisclosed location just outside Washington, D.C. at the pod that Knightscope has set up for their Roadshow. We're about to have an exclusive interview with Bill Lee, the CEO of Knightscope, to talk about their roadmap for the future, their K3 and their K5 robots, and some of the other exciting things they have going on. Come on inside, let's take a look and check it out. We're here with Bill Lee, the CEO of Knightscope. Bill, we are so thrilled to be out here as a Benzinga team at the Knightscope pod, learning even more about what you guys are doing. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I'm good. Greetings from Silicon Valley. Glad to see you at the undisclosed location. Kind of cool.
It's very cool, Bill. It's been awesome learning more about the K3 and the K5, all of the Knightscope products out here, just learning more about what you guys are up to. So let's kick it off. Obviously, you guys are in the middle of the Knightscope Roadshow right now. That's what brings you to Washington and a few of the other locations you've been. What's been impactful about the Roadshow so far? What's been going on? What's some of the feedback you've gotten? How's everything been going?
Robot Roadshows on a roll. I think we've done more than 40 pod landings in over a dozen states. It's really interesting to have a lot of our prospective clients actually get to hear about the machines and perhaps watch a virtual webinar and be able to kind of go through their wants and needs and learn about the technology. And then the second part is the pod is nice to see you again, as opposed to nice to meet you. And then that helps kind of better understand the sizes of the machines, how they might be able to use them, bring the decision makers with them, which has been super helpful. Because obviously this is a little bit unique. Most folks don't have a 400-pound robot roaming around their premises, and having the additional, decision makers and the rest of the team be able to come, touch, and feel, and get the obligatory robot selfie is always important.
Absolutely. I know we got plenty of those today, too. You talked about these being unique, right? You look at all of the use cases for these casinos, indoor malls, office buildings. When you're looking at feedback that you've gotten on the Roadshow so far, what are some of the things that some of the prospective clients have talked about these robots supplying, the K3 and the K5, that's missing right now in current security that we do in some of these locations?
Well, I don't know where to start, but I think between the Great Resignation and the pandemic, I think short-staffed is a big calling card for a lot of security professionals. There's just not enough people to be able to cover all the open positions is certainly one. Two, the officers and guards need much more technology and capabilities for them to do their jobs more effectively. And these machines allow them to be in multiple locations at the same time with eyes, ears, and voice on the ground. So they can be a lot more efficient. And it's been really helpful just to get people to come out and see. And in some cases, we come back to the same location where, for example, in Las Vegas, things went rather well the first time over. And then we came back and then, started signing contracts. And that's always good to see.
That's awesome. And of course, here on the wall, too, again, coming back to the unique factor, but deter, detect, and then report are the three phrases that you have for these robots and what they do. Can you take us through the process a little bit of when these robots are active, the K3 or the K5 or any of the active pods that you have out there right now? What's the process of them collecting information, analyzing it, reporting it? What does that look like in terms of how people can use the information they're getting?
Oh, it looks like the robots are coming. They're going to kill everyone and take everyone's job. I mean, that's the media talking point, Michael, right? No? Did I get that wrong?
It may be accurate.
Just kidding. Deter, detect, report. So deter, a lot of folks that don't spend time in physical security or law enforcement, this very simple concept of, let's say I put a marked law enforcement vehicle in front of your home or your office, criminal behavior will change. And just by the robots being there, they're rather large. You've got the strobe light going, there's signage around, the machines do make announcements and various sounds. That can actually deter a lot of negative activity before it even starts. So that's one very important aspect that our clients are enjoying in the field. Detection. So these machines generate over 90 terabytes of data a year that no human's going to be able to process. So these can read several hundred license plates a minute. They can detect a person or the person. If it's after hours, make an announcement. Get 911 dispatch to be able to remotely monitor a situation. The officers can speak through the machine as if it's a mobile PA system. So that allows them to detect things that perhaps the normal eye wouldn't catch, or, remember, these machines don't stop. They're running 24/7. They have a perfect memory. They're not sitting there texting or doing anything else. So they're really focused on those detections. And then lastly, to report them. And report could be an email. It could be a text message. It could be an escalated phone call to whatever number we're told to call, or a notification on the user interface. So that three-pronged approach has shown that we can actually deter a lot of negative behavior and stop crime. And if you want to learn more, just go to knightscope.com/crime, and there's a long list of all the positive things the machines have already done.
It's amazing, the compilation of the data that you're able to get and not missing anything where a human might have, right? It's a huge point. Can you talk a little bit about maybe the addressable market that you see for Knightscope? Where do you see Knightscope going in the future? What other use cases do you see for this? But what's the roadmap that you see for Knightscope laid out in the next few years?
I think long term, and I've said this publicly before, I think we've got a shot to build a $30 billion company that, in an odd way, looks like the analogous version of a defense contractor, but instead of focusing solely on the Department of Defense, we're focused on the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, the 19,000 law enforcement agencies out there, and 8,000 private security firms. And I think there's a meaningful opportunity to really begin to reinvent, innovate, and reimagine public safety. And that, I think that's kind of the big tall order. Like, if we can make the U.S. the safest country in the world, forget about the share price. The actual value that we can contribute to society would be massive. The roadmap, I think, is twofold. One, if you're serious about the mission that we want to secure the U.S., criminals and terrorists don't care, frankly, that we do well in casinos, or we're really good in hospitals, or residential or corporate campuses, or commercial real estate. Criminals and terrorists, quote unquote, are everywhere. So therefore, Knightscope needs to be everywhere over the long term. And that means being in every nook and cranny, both indoors and outdoors, and in public spaces, to better secure the places you live, work, study, and visit. And I think having multiple form factors will be kind of the very wide portfolio along the x-axis. And then along the y-axis is getting these machines to be able to see, feel, hear, and smell. And as I often say, do 100 times more than a human could ever possibly do. And that makes for a really exciting future.
Absolutely. It's a really impressive roadmap laid out. We can't wait to watch that happen. Bill, it's been amazing learning about everything you guys are doing. And of course, it's been fun to watch the Roadshow thus far. Anything coming up in June that you think shareholders should watch out for, retail investors? What's on the horizon that we should have our eye out for?
Oh, it's the annual shareholder meeting. We'll be announcing the official date here shortly, but looks like towards the tail end of June. Stay tuned for the date and the announcement, and we might have some goodies to share at that point as well.
Awesome. Bill Lee, CEO of Knightscope, thank you so much for having it out. It's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to watch the shareholder meeting and everything else you guys are working on.
Absolutely. As I often say, and will say until we're blue in the face, long Knightscope and short the criminals.
Short the criminals. Love it. Bill, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Take care.